What's up, people of the internet? My name is Evan Blum, and a lot of you requested to learn Love You to Love You on guitar, and so I'm here today to give you a lesson. We have a lot to cover, so let's jump right into it. So here we are. We're going to start with the intro of the song. I'm going to show you guys the left-hand technique, so just the chords first, and then later in the lesson we'll get into the right-hand picking pattern. We are going to need a capo on the 7th fret to get the sound of the record. Some people are going to say, well, Evan, I don't have a capo. My advice would be, you need to get a capo. So we're just going to be starting here in the G chord right here, and we're going to be doing a full G chord, and we're going to be making sure these bottom two, we have the full thing going. You'll see why later. Pinky on the 3rd, ring finger on the 3rd, and then just the normal G chord. Basically, it goes between G and C for the verse, and when we play that C chord, we're going to be basically shifting down our fingers one string each, these top two fingers here. So the middle finger and the index finger down one string each into that C. So that's why we play our C. That's called C-A-D-9. It doesn't matter what it's called, but that's what it's called. And it has that nice kind of feel to it. And so if you want to, you could mute the top string with your thumb just by kind of simply touching it a little bit. Or you can just kind of avoid it when you strum. So anyway, for the verse, we're going between the G and the C. So it sounds something like this. So it started in a flash, G, 2 summers back, and then back to G. So that's basically the entire verse. That simple, actually. We'll get into the complicated real way to play it later in the lesson, but if you just want to know the simple chords and just to kind of strum along to it, that's basically it. So let's focus on the right hand for that simple strumming pattern right now. So here we are for the right hand technique that we're going to be using for the verse strumming, and it basically is going to kind of do this. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down. So real slow. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down. And then we're going to basically be repeating that for the whole verse. So, up, down, up, down, down. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down. 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 And even with a switch, same thing with the C. So that's basically going to be the strumming pattern we're going to be using for virtually the entire song. So zooming right along here, we're at the pre-chorus and got a few new chords to throw at you. First, we're going to start with that E minor, and then it goes to D, and then it goes back to G. Life don't tell you when. Then for the second part of the pre-chorus, we're going E minor to D to C, and then we're going to be going back to D. So I want to show you a cool way to play that D chord actually. You can play the C, right? And we're going from the C to D here. And instead of playing the normal D, we could just slide that C chord up 2 half steps. So 2 frets. So 1, 2. And it kind of sounds like this. So it's like a little more like, artful, artsy way to play that D chord. And it sounds a little more emotional, I think. And that's the way I play it in the record. So here we go again. The whole pre-chorus is going to be E minor, D, G, and then E minor, D, C, to D. That cool D we'll use. So that's basically the entire pre-chorus chords. And as far as strumming pattern goes, I think we can just kind of lay on it and just do that kind of one strum thing to kind of stop the momentum from the verse, give it a little breathing room. And that's basically it for the pre-chorus. So now we're here at the chorus section of the song, and the chorus is going to start on that G chord. And we're basically going to be using the same strumming pattern we used for the verse, so that down, down, up, down, up, down, down. And the chord progression for the chorus is going to be G to E minor to C to D. And again, if you don't want to do the the artsy fartsy D chord, you don't have to, but I'm going to be doing that just because I like the way it sounds. So sliding up that C again. So here's how the progression goes. So do 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 right back into the verse, same thing. So we're here on the bridge section now, and after the second chorus, it goes love, love you, and then it goes right into that lovely, 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 that kind of refrain, kind of chant along section. And so what we're going to be doing is putting our fingering back into that C add 9 position that we had earlier for the verse. So I want the middle finger right here on the B string, 3rd fret, and we're going to put the middle finger on the A string, 3rd fret. And so we're going to get something that sounds like this. Open, right? Just these two. And then we're going to add this index finger for the 2nd position onto the 2nd fret of the G string. So it's open, and then first finger, index finger on the 2nd fret, the G string, and we're going to bring this pinky into play here on the 4th fret of the G string, and then back down to the index finger on the 2nd. So lovely, 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 lovely. So that's basically the whole interplay for that part. And then we're going straight into the next part of the bridge, I'd call it. Okay, so now we're here in the outro / bridge ending, part. And we're going to be going back into that G chord, right? So we just got done doing that. And now it's going to be the hey, hey, hey part. So basically we're going to be going to a G chord, right? And then we're just going to be changing the bass notes from the top. So we're going to be doing a G, but I think the only fingers you need is just 2. So again, that's 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and then we're going to put that middle finger on the 3rd fret of that low E string. And so we're going to be employing that same strumming pattern from the verse. And then for the switches, we're just going to be switching that bass note. So instead of that G being on the low note, then we're going to switch to the A, so the open A. So here's the first move, G to open A. So it's going to sound like this. And then we're going to add the index finger on the 2nd fret here. So that'll be kind of like a B. And then for the last move, we're going to C, so middle finger to the C. So all together, it's just over and over again, just vamp that. So something helpful with the strumming is if you want to kind of pluck the bass and then do the kind of the higher string, so instead of doing them all at once. So we're basically just doing that repeatedly. Hey, 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 I don't regret the days, days, days. It's da 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 da. And then right there on that last one, we only hit the G and the A. Da 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 da. It was, we go back to the way it is in the chorus, C to D. Was lovely to love you. So da 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 da. So da 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 da. It's lovely to love you. And then just you can strum that G, and that's the whole song. So that's basically the whole song, the easy version strummed. Now let's jump into the right hand technique. If you feel like you're not ready for it, no problem. You can just skip this part of the video and go ahead and play the song now the whole way through it. But those who kind of want to play it exactly how you hear on the record, stick with me. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the very intro of the song, and we're going to focus more on that right hand technique, not so much the chords, but there's going to be some new stuff thrown in with the left hand too. So let's focus on that left hand first and what's different here with the more advanced version playing exactly as the record. So we're going to be going into that G, and there's kind of three positions with each of the chords. So we're doing that normal G we did in the simple version. And then we're going to be shifting our index finger down to the 2nd fret and lifting up the pinky, just like that, and then playing this. So 2nd fret of the high E. And then we're going to let up that index finger, and we're going to play that open E, and then back on with the index finger. So here's the move. And then we're doing that again with a C. Right? So that's basically the whole move for the entire verse. Okay, so now we're going to be focusing on the right hand technique, and this is kind of like similar to John Mayer's Stop This Train, kind of that similar picking pattern I'm using here. So what we're going to be doing is a thumb and a ring finger, and we'll be plucking the top and the bottom at the same time. And then we're going to be brushing our hands across the string, kind of just all the nails. And then what we do is we are going to pluck this G string right here. So both of them, brush, pluck. Both of them, brush, pluck the G string with the index finger here. So, and then next move is hitting the bass note again. So here it is real slow. Pluck the G, and then thumb the E again. So, and the last thing we're going to be doing is using the middle finger to play that B string. So again, real slow. So it's important, to make sure you're using the middle finger for that B, index finger for that G, and third finger for that high E, just so it's a lot easier. You don't have to go back and forth. So here we go. And then we do another strum there to end it. So the whole pattern together is. It's actually kind of tricky to do it slow. I'm so used to doing it fast. So what we're going to be doing is this pluck right here, this first pluck is the change that we're going to be doing. So we do that once. So, and then we switch again right after doing it once to that second position. And then open. So the only thing that's changing is the left hand here. The right hand's doing the same picking pattern, just we're changing what we're playing with that left hand. So now we're going to be switching to the C chord, and it's again the same thing, except now the bass note is going to be that A string. So from the G to the C. So don't be frustrated if you don't get that pattern right away. It took me a long time to really get comfortable with it. But once you do, it's really fun. You can pretty much play it on any chord sequence, and it makes it kind of sound a lot better. So let's hop into that pre-chorus section and check that out. So here we are now at the pre-chorus section, and we're going to be focusing on the right hand technique here. So the chords are basically the same. So we're going to start on that E minor, and let's go through it in steps here. So at first we're going to be just using these two fingers pretty much for this whole pattern, and we're going to pluck with our thumb and our index the E and the D string at the same time. So here's step one. Step two is just to hit that bass again with your thumb. So here's step three. So we have both at the same time, bass, and then index finger striking that A string. So, and then step four is hitting the bass again. So altogether we have step five, we're going to be using the index to hit the D string, and then step six, back to the bass again. So we have altogether so fast it sounds like. So now to play that D chord for that second switch, we go E to D to G, right? All we need to do is put the index finger right here on the second fret of the E string and play the same pattern. So it goes E minor and then to G, so we just play the top two in the G. And the same thing. And then I kind of just hold these, so C, and then I kind of slide these up. So for this C, I just use two fingers here, middle finger and index on the third of the A and the second of the D, and then slide it up, two. So that's basically the whole pre-chorus section. It goes like this. And that's it. So now moving on to the rest of the song, the chorus is actually pretty much just strummed. We can just plug in and play it strummed, so there's not really any difference there between the simple and the complex version. But one thing I want to fast forward to is the very ending where we change the bass notes of that thing. So we can actually use that same strumming pattern we used for the verse in that part, and it sounds pretty good. As far as the part right before that, the lovely, lovely, I think a full strum there sounds kind of good, so we can kind of keep that, which is what we do in the simple version. So as far as the very end, here we go. So this strumming pattern for this very ending section is going to be very similar to what we use in the verse, except I think for this part we only need these three fingers: thumb, index, and middle. So we're going to start in that G, and we pluck the low E and the B at the same time with the middle and the thumb. So, and then we do a brush, and then we hit with the index that G, and then hit the bass. So together we have, and then you want to hit that B again, and then do a brush again. So together, real slow, it's, so, and fast sounds like. So we're going to be changing that bass note each hit. So it's going to sound like this. So the same way we did it in the simple version. So G to A, open A, to B to C. So it's going to sound like this. So that's basically it. And then the end. And so there it is. There's the whole song. I really hope you guys enjoyed the lesson, and thank you guys so much for requesting me to do the lesson, otherwise I wouldn't have done it. And I hope to do these for all my future releases for songs that can be played on guitar. That way you guys can play along with the records and have such a fun time, and you could, you know, go to parties and impress people with, oh, I know the Evan Blum song, ooh, and like, you know, guys will get all the girls and girls will get all the guys because they know this song. You know how it goes. Yeah, so let me know in the comments below to request any other songs of mine that you'd like to learn on guitar. And thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.
There's not a thing I change. There's not a thing I change.